Hey there students, we're back, and today we're going to talk about are the different types of B2B markets or business to business markets that you might find yourself in when you're doing business, because we're not always selling to the end customer. Sometimes we're selling to the next person down the supply chain, and that's where our B2B markets kind of come in. Now, probably the one that people know the most are manufacturers. In the manufacturer market, there's kind of two ways, I mean there's many ways, but there's kind of two basic ways that manufacturers use products, or different kinds of markets that manufacturers are. So one, they're purchasing raw materials in order to make their products. So, Culver's restaurants, they buy ground beef in order to make their burgers. They buy cheese in order to make the cheeseburger, the butter burger, these kind of things. So sometimes you're a market of just buying stuff in order to make my own product, okay? It's part of the final product. So it might be I'm buying a computer chip that goes into my laptop that I sell. There's those kind of manufacturer market, but also there's a manufacturer market in terms of purchasing products that help the companies manufacture their products. So I'm buying the robots that are putting the chips in. I'm buying the griddle to fry up my burgers and stuff like that. So you have those kind of manufacturers. Those are two kind of markets there. Another thing you want to look at is resellers and retailers. So your Walmarts, your Targets, these kind of things, they're not making products per se. They're not growing the food and stuff like that. All they're doing is taking the cans from Dole and selling it to you. So the resellers and retailers, they do not manipulate the goods, okay? They're just out there to sell what a manufacturer already made. And so that's another market you might see. And the thing is, with resellers and retailers, they're the ones that are dealing with the end customers. So that market there, you could learn a lot from them. If you do have these retailers, you have the resellers, you want to make sure you're asking, hey, what have you seen? What have clients been saying? Have they been returning our products? What can we learn from that? Because you'd be surprised how you can find things out. I know, Comcast or AT&T, all these ones, when they get new modems coming out and, oh, these modems don't work with our internet and stuff like that. Obviously, Best Buy would know that because Best Buy would sell the modem and stuff like that for internet, and people would come back and say, this doesn't work with AT&T. And so what they end up doing is learning from those resellers, oh, we do have an issue on our website. It's telling people to buy stuff that we can't actually sell. So you will have things like that. Now, the third kind of B2B market you're going to see are organizations. Think churches, schools, universities, things like that. If you're going to be selling to these organizations, nonprofits and stuff like that, what's one of the biggest issues you see? If you ever went to high school and you were in the band or in a sports club or anything like that, you probably had to sell pizza or popcorn or donuts or something like that because they have no money, okay? And organizations, usually when you're dealing with them, you're not going to have a lot of cash, okay? So you're not making a ton of money selling to schools. So you might look at it as how can we set up special pricing or maybe special products that are just for schools or just for nonprofits, and so you might be dealing with them that way. So you're thinking about maybe donations or deals and stuff like that. And then the fourth B2B market you see is the government, the biggest purchaser out there. Yes, if you become a preferred supplier, that means the government said you're okay to work with, so they don't have to ask permission every time. You get one of those, they do buy in bulk. I mean, think about it, selling toilet seats for all the toilets in all the government buildings, that's a great amount of money. Yes, there's a billionaire that sells toilets, and there's a billionaire that also sells toilet paper, and you have those things. But it is tough to become that preferred supplier. There's a lot of hoops you have to go through, a lot of checks and stuff like that. It's a lot of requirements. So a lot of companies just say, you know what, it's too much effort to do that, so they don't. But if you do, it can be a really good guaranteed business. But there is one thing you got to realize: if you're working with governments, sometimes the payments can be late, especially if you got a state that has budget problems. They might not be able to pay right away. It might take a few months. So sometimes you'll see some companies say, look, for insurance purposes perhaps. Let's say we have a deal with a state government saying, look, we'll take your workers on our dental plan. It's a dentist office, but they have to pay out of pocket, and your insurance can pay them first because we can't wait 2 months to get paid or 6 months to get paid or a year to get paid. So you do have that. So I hope that helps you get to know the four types of B2B markets. So you got the manufacturers, the resellers and retailers, the organizations that are out there like the churches and schools, and then the government. So I hope that helps. If you're studying for the exam, good luck for the exam, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.